ลาวถือเขาลานลุกล้ำเหยียบย่ำอาทิตย์ปไตยเอาคนลาวอย่ามัวเสยดูได้จงมองใจสา
Free Lao Radio.
Welcome back. This is Free Lao Radio broadcast. For first-time listeners, I would like to say hello, welcome, and thank you very much for tuning in. Awareness is knowledge, and knowledge is power. If you recall our last broadcast, I mentioned about counterfeit US currency as well as counterfeit kip that are currently circulating in the country of Laos. North Korea has been confirmed in the process of making what is dubbed by Europol as super dollars. Super dollars are $50 and $100 bill denominations that are, quote, just US dollars not made by the US, unquote. They are in fact almost undetectable as fake unless you have the latest and greatest detection gear that the Federal Reserve does have to identify these fakes. North Korea apparently possesses the same kind of printing press used by the US Bureau of Engraving and Printing. The theory is as follows. In 1989, these printing presses made their way to North Korea from East Germany, where they were once used to make fake passports and secret documents. As for the printing paper, it is almost identical to what is used to make authentic dollars. The ink itself is purchased by the North Koreans from the same Swiss firm that supplies the US government with ink. If the North Koreans have the ability to print these super dollars, they will also have the ability to print all other forms of currency, especially kip. We all know North Korea and Laos have close ties. In recent reports, there has been a rise in confiscation of fake currency in Laos. These confiscations include US dollars and kip. The Laos Party will now have access to US dollars printed on demand to purchase whatever they need from countries other than the US. Imagine the devastating possibilities. We have warned the Laos Party to stay away from North Korea, yet it seems the relationship is building. Can the world really handle a North Korea number 2? All that aside, we're now going to offer an update on the Sombath Somphone situation. Stay tuned.
Sombath was driving on the outskirts of Lao capital Vientiane on December 15th last year when he was stopped in his vehicle by police and then transferred into another vehicle, as surveillance video from that day showed. No one has seen him since. Based on private discussions with officials from the Lao government, the ruling Communist Party, and the military, as well as other well-connected sources in the country, several foreign diplomats told RFA's Lao service that the 60-year-old community worker's chances of being alive are very slim. Lao authorities have reported little or no progress in their investigations since Sombath's disappearance on the night of December 15th, 2012, when police recorded surveillance video showed him being stopped at a police post. Amid the impasse, many in the foreign diplomatic community in Laos think it is most unlikely that Sombath is still alive, one diplomat said, speaking on condition of anonymity. The diplomat indicated that Sombath may have been killed by government-linked groups, saying that one highly placed source told him bluntly that Sombath was finished and planted, using jargon to exemplify that he may have been murdered and buried in an undisclosed location. Another diplomat quoted an unnamed member of the Lao Communist Party Central Committee as saying that the party leadership did not trust Sombath, who has been campaigning to upgrade youth training, improve the rights of the poor rural population, and to protect the environment. His attempt to plant the seeds of freedom in Lao youth minds was perceived as a clear challenge to the Communist Party leadership, which has ruled Laos with an iron fist since 1975, the diplomat said, also speaking on condition of anonymity. The Lao authorities have also been concerned over his role in organizing the Asia-Europe People's Forum, where various sensitive issues such as corruption, land rights, and environmental threats were discussed ahead of the Asia-Europe meeting summit that took place in Vientiane in November 2012, he said. One particular concern of the authorities was that Sombath had allegedly written a letter to Myanmar's opposition leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, inviting her to attend the forum, he said. Aung San Suu Kyi did not attend the forum. The Communist Party's suspicion was further inflamed by Sombath's close contact with Thai and international environmentalist groups fiercely opposed to the constructions of dams on the Mekong River, and which had organized demonstration against the Xayaburi Dam project during the ASEM summit, the second diplomat said. The diplomat felt that the Lao government's current strategy is to drag its feet over the Sombath case, hoping that the issue will fade away like all past arbitrary arrests, imprisonments, and forced disappearances in the country. The United Nations, the United States, and the European Parliament have all raised concerns about Sombath's disappearance, while human rights groups expressed fears he may have been abducted by security groups linked to the government. London-based Amnesty International and US-based Human Rights Watch has said that Sombath was a victim of enforced disappearance, defined under international law as the arrest or detention of a person by state officials or their agents, followed by refusal to acknowledge the deprivation of liberty or to reveal the person's fate or whereabouts. Based on the evidence, the most plausible conclusion is that Sombath Somphone is a victim of an enforced disappearance for which Lao officials are responsible, Rupert Abbott, Amnesty International's researcher on Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam said recently. The fact that Sombath Somphone was taken from a police post in the center of Laos' capital city and that the police there did nothing to resist raises very serious concerns, he said. Human Rights Watch had said that the authorities in Laos have failed to seriously investigate or credibly explain the enforced disappearance of Sombath. It said there was no indication that the Lao authorities have made any follow-up inquiries into the actions recorded on the police security video. After 6 months, the Lao government's failure to explain the abduction of a prominent social activist at a police checkpoint or account for his whereabouts raises the gravest concerns for his safety, said Brad Adams, Asia Director at Human Rights Watch. Sombath was the former director of the Participatory Development Training Center, a non-governmental organization he founded in 1996 to promote education, training, and sustainable development. He was the recipient of the 2005 Ramon Magsaysay Award for the community leadership for his work in the fields of education and development across Asia.
In regards to the Sombath Somphone case, a concerning new development has been discovered. Amnesty International, a non-governmental organization focused on human rights, has published a briefing titled Laos, Caught on Camera, the Enforced Disappearance of Sombath Somphone. In this briefing, further CCTV analysis of the original footage of Sombath being taken away in a pickup truck shows a motorcycle riding ahead of the truck. On this motorcycle, an individual on the back appears to fire a shot into the air before speeding away from the police post. Quote, "The apparent gunshot may have been fired as a warning to witnesses, as a signal for the pickup truck carrying Sombath to leave immediately, or for another reason. The fact that this man is armed may also explain why Sombath did not struggle to avoid being taken away, although those who know Sombath say that he would have tried to discuss the situation peacefully to find a resolution rather than resist." Unquote. Mind you, these independent observations were not released or mentioned in media coverage. Thank you, Amnesty International. Need I remind you also that the Laos Party controls the Lao government, and the Lao government is what the world sees. Behind the scenes, the Laos Party shapes and molds the Lao government into what is satisfactory to world eyes. We know the truth about what happened, and so do the following 3 individuals. Police Brigadier General Vilay Duangmini, Minister of Public Security Dr. Thongban Sangapon, and lastly, Deputy Prime Minister Asang Laole. Push them hard enough and you will get your answers. Keep up the pressure and eventually the truth will find its way through all the lies. I do not believe that someone, especially with the prestige and reputation like Sombath Somphone, can just disappear. Furthermore, how can this disappearance not have any leads or any information that can shed some light on the situation? Why not turn over the original CCTV footage direct from the camera to those who will voluntarily screen it and analyze it? Oh wait, the Lao Party denied this action, stating that the video was way too blurry to even try. The key word is try, something the Laos Party needs to teach the Lao government to do, or at least try to be more consistent with their lies. We have stated a solution, and in Amnesty's briefing, shows that great minds think alike, especially for the case of human rights. The briefing lists this recommendation, quote, establish without delay a new independent commission to undertake an impartial and thorough investigation into Sombath's disappearance and ensure that all steps are taken to locate, rescue him from his captors, and return him safely to his family as soon as possible in accordance with Laos's obligation under international law, unquote. We have the ability and the manpower to do so. We urge the United Nations and all other organizations concerned with human rights to support our cause and to perhaps establish an independent commission to investigate these matters and bring about the truth. Since the Laos Party cannot get its act together, perhaps we need to help them. The world's persistence is making some progress for the Laos Party, for it is now showing some weakness. Before, the Laos Party did not want any help in locating Sombath Somphone. Now, after some time, perhaps enough time to cover all their tracks, Deputy Director General of the Ministry's General Police Department, Colonel Dr. Pengsavan Tipsavongse, states, quote, any individuals or organizations that may have any information related to the case are requested to report that information to the Vientiane district or provincial police authorities nationwide so that they can play a part in solving this case, unquote. Your persistence has also pushed the Lao International Police Department to send a request letter to Interpol, which has placed Mr. Somphone on yellow notice. Yellow notice is an official request for help in locating a missing person. Great job, world. So before, they didn't need any help. And now, after all the international pressure, and like I said, perhaps time to cover up their tracks, the Laos Party is now authorizing the Lao government to ask for help in locating Sombath. Or perhaps the image of asking for help to relieve some of the international pressure on the country and to save face to the world that they are, quote, trying, unquote, to find him. Is this a legitimate cry for help? Or is it a simple deception to get pressure off their backs? In my opinion, if they were truly concerned with finding the individual whom of which they kidnapped anyway, they would have accepted help the second there was a worldwide outcry to help him. Also, I believe that this so-called cry for help is another way to get us, the Lao Liberal Democratic Party, off their backs as well. We all know you fear us, and might be trying to find a way to deal with us, or at least avoid us. But we are unavoidable. If this is a true cry for help to help find Sombath Somphone, we can help. We have the funds, the manpower, and the men ready to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like I said, no outside funding is necessary. All we need is the green light to proceed. We urge the United Nations, all countries, and individuals whom or which are concerned with human rights to support us. Once again, we have the means and the manpower available 24/7, ready to go to help find out the truth. We are unavoidable, especially due to the fact that the two-party elections between us, the Lao Liberal Democratic Party and you, the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, will be taking place in the year 2014. Perhaps once and for all, the iron grip of lies, extortion, disappearance, and communism will finally fall. If any of you would like to help, please support our cause. Visit www.laofreedom.com. That's www.laofreedom.com. This has been Free Lao Radio broadcast number 12. Stay tuned for our next broadcast so you can stay up to date on any new revelations that will further the cause of human rights. As usual, have an outstanding day.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ
เป็นเพียง